Hi everyone, I'm Ree from mummyoffour.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing my top tips for back to school and for stress-free school run mornings. So these tips will go throughout your entire year to make your life as a mum much easier. So if you're new here, welcome. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. Do not forget to hit the bell to get notified when I post new videos, and they go live every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Now my first tip, and this is so important, is to organize all your children's uniform for the week on the weekends. Now the key is to minimize any stress in the mornings, any running around looking for things, and this is how you do it. On the weekend, when you're putting stuff away, rather than putting like pants in the pants drawer and socks in the socks drawer and whatever else it might be, all you do is you hang a complete outfit on one hanger. So here, this is Bella's uniform, so it's got everything she needs to put on for that day. So this maximizes her independence, so she knows where everything is, she's not running around looking for things, and it means that she's not then stressing me out because she can't find things, and everyone can just get ready in the quickest and easiest way possible. So she's got, like I said, everything she needs to wear on here. She's got a cardigan and everything, and then her tights and her knickers and things are in this accessories case. These are little cosmetics cases. All the things I mentioned in this video, I shall put a link below to a blog post with all the stuff linked in there, so if you need to find any of it, you can just go and check that out. So in here as well, I will put any hair accessories I plan to put in her hair that day, and I will have 5 of these in her wardrobe. Now I know from a point of view of buying uniform, like how many items do people buy? I personally always buy 5 days worth. I don't spend loads and loads of money on uniform, but a lot of it comes from sort of Georgia Asda, so it's not terribly expensive. It's really hard wearing. So if I buy 5 of everything, A, it's going to last all year, B, when she loses a few bits and pieces, we're not down to 0 uniform, and C, a lot of it is sort of so hard wearing that a lot of it can be passed on to her sister anyway. So I actually think it's sort of the amount of time and stress that it saves me, it's a really good investment to just buy 5 days worth, first as last, done. My next tip is to organise everything for the morning the night before. So we do all the uniform on the weekends, but everything else kind of might vary from day to day a little bit. So whether they need their book bags in their bags, or their outdoor learning kit, or their PE kit, whatever it might be, get it packed in their school bags, all sorted and ready to go. If they're having a packed lunch, pack all the stuff that isn't refrigerated directly into their lunchbox, and then all you've got to do is grab the stuff that is refrigerated that you've prepared the night before, bung it in, and you're ready to go. So you can either keep the bags then by the front door, like in an allocated place, like a backpack station, or you could even go so far as, if you were driving, to put them in the car the night before, so it's just one less thing to have to grab. My next tip is to buy a gazillion of these pocket folders. Now, these are really fab for packing for older children, like my teenager. So he has 5 different subjects a day. I talked about this in my school supplies haul video, which I shall link up here for you to take a look at. But basically he has one of these per subject, with each one is stickered up with the subject's name. Everything for that subject goes into it, and then he just packs the amount of folders. He packs 5 folders, 1 for each subject plus a pastoral folder each day, and it's easy peasy. It's not like which sheets do I need, which books do I need, because everything is kept within one of these. If you've got younger children, make sure you put one of these into their bags, because then they can put any homework or anything like that into them. It's not going to end up like a crumpled mess, and you've got one kind of clean place to check for correspondence and things, homework, books, reading books, anything like that can be kept in these, and they're just going to be kept kind of neater and tidier. The next tip is a game changer. So what you're going to get is a much smaller, like an envelope sized pop-up folder. I can't remember what size this is called. If you know what size this is, please let me know in the comments. And basically you're going to hole punch it like that and put a little carabiner on it. Now this one's looking a bit scabby because this is Williams from last year. I've ordered some new ones for this year, but they haven't arrived yet. And when the rest of my kind of school supplies and bags things arrive, let me know. If you want to see a little haul video for that stuff, let me know in the comments. Anyway, what you're going to do with this is, I'm showing you on my bag because the children's bags haven't arrived yet. You're gonna hook it onto your child's backpack like that. And in here, you can put any correspondence that you need for the teacher. So anything that they need to see when you need to send in checks, important notes, things like that. And that is just far more likely to actually reach your teacher because it's sort of kept front of mind for your child. Your child's teacher may actually see it. Your child's teacher may actually see it and retrieve it. And also if you can ask your teacher, especially if you've got very young children, to put notes, returning notes into this rather than shoving them in their bag or to be left on the carpet, you're far more likely to get them. And if you're actually getting notes, it's going to make your school run mornings far less stressful because you're going to get information in a timely fashion, not some last minute panic, leaving you in a stressed out mess. My next tip is to do all bathing and showering the night before. So as lovely as it is to wake up and have a lovely refreshing shower in the mornings, that time is time that you could be spending, you know, sleeping if you've got to get up very early, or just generally organising the children. So if you are relying on having to shower in the mornings, then you can end up in a situation where you're running late because other things happen. So by getting it all done the night before, then you're going to end up far less of a stressed mummy. My next tip, and you will know this if you've seen my school morning routine video, is to get up and dressed before the children. As soon as the children are up, you're not going to have any time to get yourself ready, you're going to be nagged, so it is quite nice to get up just a little bit before them, just a few minutes, and actually get dressed in peace. Make sure that not only the children's clothes are put out the night before, by the way, but yours too, because that kind of dithering time in the morning, wondering what to wear, eats into your school run morning, and then, you know, those decisions are the kind of things that are going to end up making you late. My next tip is to schedule your time and figure out exactly how much time you have for each activity in the morning. Work it backwards and set alarms accordingly. So if you have to leave the house at 8 o'clock, then maybe you can have an alarm at 7:45 which says, right, it's time for everyone to go and stop what they're doing and get their shoes and bags and coats on and start getting ready to go. I mean, maybe in your house if you've got less than 4 children that takes less than 15 minutes, but for me, trying to round up all the sheep sometimes takes that long. I have alarms for my whole morning, from when I need to get up to when I need to get the children up, to when it's time to go down for breakfast, for when it's time for breakfast to be over and for them to go and clean their teeth. Everything has got an alarm, and the children know when they hear that next alarm, it's time to do the next stage, and it kind of keeps everyone on track. And for me, it just reminds me of the time rather than me getting kind of lost and trying to do some bits and pieces around the house or housework or whatever it might be. I've got those alarms that say, right, it is time to stop doing whatever you're doing now. You got to get moving or you're going to be late. My next tip is to do with breakfast, and this is to limit your children's breakfast choices. So it may be you want to get them to agree the night before what they're going to have for breakfast. You can go so far as to organise some of this stuff the night before, get out various bowls, lay up for breakfast the night before, whatever it might be, but the more preparation, the better. But if you give your children a full menu of choices in the morning, they will spend lots of time dithering and not much time eating. My next tip may sound a bit harsh, but it's to put a time limit on breakfast. So this goes back to my alarms again, but my children know that they've got a certain amount of time to eat breakfast, and then when that time has finished, sadly, the breakfast is going to be taken away because it's time to get in the car and go to school. Now, this may sound harsh, but I'm pretty sure if they didn't have a time limit on it, they would just sit there staring into space and not eat anything at all. Let me know in the comments if this is your children too. But by putting a timer on it, then they know that they've got a certain amount of time. It's sort of almost like a little more like a little game or something, but they're far more likely to stay on task and actually eat. There are a few ways of doing this. You can use a timer on your phone or iPad, especially if you keep it in view of the children. You can use the little sand timers that you turn upside down, or you can use an actual time timer, which is a device for helping children who are too young to tell the time have a concept of how much time is left. All these things are linked in that little link below, so go and check those out. My next tip is to have a separate toothbrushing station in your downstairs loo. Now, this does save just a couple of minutes rather than taking them for breakfast, back upstairs to clean their teeth and back downstairs. But those couple of minutes saved will save your stress too. My next tip would be to take advantage of recurring reminders on your phone. So if your children have to take PE kit on a Wednesday, then set an alarm reminder on Tuesday night to put it by the front door. By having these kind of regular reminders in your phone, so on a Tuesday night you have to put this by the front door, on a Thursday night you have to put that by the front door, it means you're not going to be in the morning going, ah, I've forgotten it. Oh, we've all been there. It's not much fun. So these recurring reminders really save my skin. I'm sure they'll find them helpful too. My next tip is to keep a little makeup kit in your bag. If you're the kind of girl that wants to wear some makeup and the children have been having one of those mornings and things haven't been going as smoothly as possible, if you know you've got some little basics in your bag, then you can always pop some on in the car when you've parked and you've got a few minutes to spare then, rather than having to stress it out before you leave or run around grabbing bits and pieces. I've always had a little makeup kit, just a few bits and pieces in my bag, and even if I haven't used it, I've known it's kind of there if I need to use it, if I'm running out of time. So that way, you know, we've done the absolute essentials, and putting makeup on might be the kind of the cream, and if I don't have time for that, it's okay because I can do it on the go. So those were just some of my top tips for stress-free school run mornings. I hope you have found those useful. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to leave me a comment, subscribe, hit the bell, share it, do all the things. If you want to see my latest video, that's just over here. And if you want more school top tips, routines, that kind of thing, then they're all just down here. I'll see you guys soon.